ladies and gentlemen, cabin lighting will be dimmed if you require any additional lighting.
Shalom and welcome back to our channel. Today is a vital lesson to unlock how the Bible is meant to be read for understanding. If you have seen our Quick Scripts Bible Guide to Clarity, you would be familiar with the formula and process of getting true understanding of the biblical text. This presentation will follow the same guidelines as the previous Quick Scripts presentation as well as our other presentations to continue to provide guidance to understand what a said scripture or epistle is relating to. So without any further ado, let's delve into the lesson, the power of precepts. Let's first start off by asking 3 questions that we will look to answer. First, what are precepts? Second, what are precepts for? Third, how do you find precepts? I have done this lesson with my family and now I am providing you with this said lesson to show you how we understand what the biblical text is truly stating. So, throughout the course of this lesson, I am going to use my notes from our family devotional study and show you how we obtain clarity with the biblical text. Let's first start with question 1. What are precepts? Isaiah 28, 9 and 10. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk, and drawn from the breasts. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little, and there a little. In the verse 9, Isaiah asks, who is to teach and make people understand? What is knowledge? Knowledge is defined as factual information, skill sets, experiences, education, awareness. So a person who teaches must have knowledge on that very thing they are teaching. What is doctrine? Doctrine is defined as a stated principle or governing policy, set of beliefs taught by positions of authority. So, a teacher is supposed to teach factual information stated by principle or governing policy. So what are precepts? From understanding precepts through studying, precepts are scriptures that reinforce, redistributes, and re-establishes a previously stated scripture. We will break this down further when we go over the what is law teaching. What does line upon line mean? Generally, line upon line means what it states. The teacher can only give factual information on a stated principle or governing policy based on how the information is provided. For example, if you wanted to become a mechanic or teach the workings of a car, you cannot be efficient at repairing a car if you only know 1/3 of the instruction manual or 1/3 of the discipline of being a mechanic. So Isaiah 28 and 10 is clearly the instructions of how to read the Bible through this formula. Precept upon precept, line upon line, sprinkled throughout the Bible from beginning to end. Question 2. What are precepts for? Let's look at Psalms 119 and verses 104, 100, 99, 98. 104 Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. 100 I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. 99 I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. 98 Thou through thy commandments hast made me wiser than mine enemies, for they are ever with me. So precepts in verse 104 gives understanding which will make you hate every falsehood created and that will be created. Verse 100, because you will have more understanding than those who have taught you before and will be able to see the falsehoods. Verse 99, the Most High's commands will make you wiser than your enemies because the precepts or understanding will be with you because your enemies are the creators of falsehoods. Verse 98, the commandments of the Most High will make you wiser than your enemies because the commandments are what you meditate on so that you will be able to see the falsehoods that your enemies have created and will create. So Psalms 119 and 104 is a direct precept to Isaiah 28 and 10. So let's get some understanding of how precepts reinforce, redistribute, and re-establishes a previously stated scripture. Let's look at Numbers 35 and 30 and precepts 2 Corinthians 13 and 1, Matthew 18 and 16, Hebrews 10 and 28, Deuteronomy 17 and 6, and Deuteronomy 19 and 15. Numbers 35 and 30. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Precept. 2 Corinthians 13:1. This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. Precept. Matthew 18:16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. Precept. Hebrews 10:28. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy, under 2 or 3 witnesses. Precept. Deuteronomy 17:6. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or 3 witnesses, shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. Precept. Deuteronomy 19:15. 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. Through these precepts, what was the main theme of understanding that has been given through the Scriptures? How often have we seen the key word, witness? How about witnesses? So, the precept, or a precept, is a witness to the Scripture that has been stated or read. So, the precept is a witness to the Scripture that has been stated or read. Again, the precept reinforces, redistributes, and reestablishes a previously stated Scripture, which bears witness to the Scripture that is stated to bring understanding or clarity to a said verse or chapter in the Bible. Question 3. How do you find precepts? As stated in the beginning of this lesson, I have taught this multiple times. So to show you how to find precepts, I will give you a transcript of a collection of this lesson's participation. Let's begin. Uncle Israel, Amos 3:2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Uncle Israel, Amos 3:2. Precept, Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy Elohim, that the Most High thy Elohim hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Uncle Israel, Amos 3:2. Precept, Exodus 19:6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Uncle Israel, Amos 3:2. Precept, Joel 2:27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Most High your Elohim, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. Uncle Israel, Amos 3:2. Precept, Exodus 4:23. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. Were you able to identify the theme of the Scripture and precepts that were given? Uncle Israel precepts the understanding that the Most High is only the Elohim of Israel. He comes to this understanding not by conjecture or fables, but based on the Scriptures and precepts. We saw in Amos 3:2 that the Most High said that Israel was the only people he has ever known amongst all the families of the earth. Not the world, but the earth. Uncle Israel then precepts Deuteronomy 7:6 to re-establish the relationship between the Most High and Israel, as the Scripture states that Israel was chosen to be a special people unto the Most High, above all people or families on the face of the earth. Uncle Israel again redelivers the understanding of the relationship between the Most High and Israel by precepting Exodus 19:6, where the Most High says that Israel shall be unto him a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation. The words that Moses are to speak to Israel reiterates the relationship between the Most High and Israel, as he said, Israel is to be a royal priest kingdom unto himself. He make an exclusive relationship or contract between he and Israel, re-establishing the initial Scripture Uncle Israel used with Amos 3:2. Uncle Israel then redistributes the understanding of the relationship between the Most High and Israel by precepting Joel 2:27, where it stated that I am the Most High your Elohim, and none else. And the phrase, my people, presents an aspect of ownership or near kinsman is reiterated to demonstrate that Israel is a people unto the Most High. When we see the phrase, none else, by simple deduction of line upon line, we can see that the Most High says that he is the Elohim of Israel and none else, or no one else. thereby re-illustrating the special relationship between the Most High and Israel. You can see how Isaiah 28:10 was utilized to help get clarity and understanding, as seen in Psalms 119, 104, to what a said scripture truly means. Uncle Israel used the formula of precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. We saw the same concept with having 2 or 3 witnesses to establish a cause or clause. Let's see if we can find more understanding of what the Bible through precepts. Let's see what Uncle Eli gathered through his precepts. Uncle Eli chose Matthew 5:17 as his first passage. Let's read what it says. Matthew 5:17 states, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law, or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill." Matthew 5:17 initiated the Messiah's purpose and to make the correction of the misconception of his purpose. He tells his audience, "Think not, or don't believe that I come to destroy or abolish the law or Torah, or the prophets that have come before him and their purpose." He says he has not come to destroy or abolish the law but to fulfill or to bring into actuality, affect or make real, or to do, perform, or obey a task or order, for example carry out. To meet a requirement or condition, satisfy. So it is evident that Uncle Eli had chosen Matthew 5:17 to establish the foundation of his understanding. Let's look at some precepts he had chosen to see if his foundation of understanding is true. Let's look at Romans 3:31. Romans 3:31 states, "Do we then make void the law through faith? Yah forbid. Yea, we establish the law." Uncle Eli precepts Romans 3:31 to re-establish what the Messiah stated in Matthew 5:17. Can you see what Uncle Eli is looking to re-establish? Let's look at Uncle Eli's precept Hebrews 8:8-11. Hebrews 8:8-11 reads, "For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Most High. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Most High. I will put my laws into their mind, and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them an Elohim, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Most High, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest." Are we beginning to see a theme or pattern of understanding through the 2 precepts of Romans 3:31 and Hebrews 8:8-11? Have you connected any of the verses yet to connect to Uncle Eli's understanding? Let's look at Uncle Eli's final precept. Point 1 Stone John 3:4. 1 John 3:4 states, "Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law." Uncle Eli began with his foundational verse of Matthew 5:17 and precepted Romans 3:31 initially. We saw that the Messiah stated that he did not come to abolish the law or the prophets that had come before him to correct the children of Israel. We saw in Romans 3:31 that Paul states that they established the law. Uncle Eli re-establishes the Messiah's words in not abolishing the law, which Paul then states that he established. So both the Messiah and Paul are speaking on the law. Uncle Eli redistributes his foundational verse in Matthew 5:17 with Hebrews 8:8-11, where we saw that the Most High will make a renewed covenant with the whole body of Israel that will be separate from the initial covenant made with Israel. The Most High stated that he will put his law, or Torah, in the hearts and minds of Israel. Keep in mind that the covenant is found in the law or Torah. Uncle Eli redelivers his foundational verse in Matthew 5:17 with 1 John 3:4, where we saw that sin is transgression of the law. Thereby, there cannot be sin without law. So, if the Messiah was without sin, that would mean that he was full of the law. So let's see what Uncle Eli was precepting to get understanding of his foundational verse of Matthew 5:17. Uncle Eli was precepting the meaning, function, and establishing the Torah. We saw that as the Messiah stated that he did not come to abolish the Torah or the law. This shows an establishing of his purpose and his view towards the law of the Most High. We saw that Paul states that faith does not trump the law of the Most High, but they establish the law of the Most High. We saw that Paul would the precept Jeremiah to the Hebrews to redeliver what was said by the prophet that the Most High will renew his covenant with all of Israel and write his law in the hearts and minds of Israel. Uncle Eli reinforces the establishing of the Torah with 1 John 3 and 4, where it indicates that sin is the transgression of the law. You only know what sin is based on the law or Torah. So the function of the Torah is to indicate righteousness by differentiating what is considered holy and what is considered sin. So we see that each precept provides an understanding of why the Messiah states that he has not come to destroy the law or the prophets but to fulfill what the law and prophets has prophesied about his coming and purpose. The epistles that Uncle Eli used provide reinforced context of establishing the purpose of the Torah to bring understanding to why the Messiah states in Matthew 5 and 17 that he did not come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. Uncle Eli reinforces the establishing of the Torah with 1 John 3 and 4, where it indicates that sin is the transgression of the law. You only know what sin is based on the law or Torah. So the function of the Torah is to indicate righteousness by differentiating what is considered holy and what is considered sin. So we see that each precept provides an understanding of why the Messiah states that he has not come to destroy the law or the prophets but to fulfill what the law and prophets has prophesied about his coming and purpose. The epistles that Uncle Eli used provide reinforced context of establishing the purpose of the Torah to bring understanding to why the Messiah states in Matthew 5 and 17 that he did not come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. The Messiah and his followers observed the Torah from his time to the end of the Bible. As we conclude part 1 of the Power of Precepts lesson, hopefully you saw how reading the Bible and understanding the Bible are two different things. Uncle Israel used precepts to bring understanding that the Elohim of the Bible had specifically chosen Israel to be his own people and that he is to be their own Elohim. We gathered understanding with Uncle Eli's foundational verse and precepts that the Messiah himself had stated that he has not come to abolish Elohim's law but to fulfill or bring into actuality or to make real. So the precepts chosen reinforced both Uncle Eli's and Uncle Israel's stance on the meaning, function, and establishing the Torah as well as the Elohim of the Bible only being the Elohim of Israel and no one else's. As I showed early into the lesson, precepts provide understanding as in Psalms 119 verse 104. Without utilizing precepts for understanding and clarity, everything is conjecture, fables, opinions, and fairy tales. We will revisit the Power of Precepts lesson in part 2 and see what other understanding we can derive from using precepts. Study to show yourself approved to the Most High. Shalom.